What did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed a packed service, a service filled with enthusiasm and humor and music and joy and English and French and bread and juice. Uh, you missed today a liturgy conceived and presented by our own Greg Daly, who is in seminary now studying for ministry, and our intern, Etienne Lesage, who has graduated seminary and awaits his time to be ordained next May. And together they created a welcoming environment where we investigated and embraced the idea of welcoming the stranger, the power of welcoming the stranger, the ways that we welcome. Etienne invited us to consider how sometimes we treat everything like speed dating, and we are quick to judge and to mark down very quickly who's in, who's out, and with whom would we like to further a relationship. But God does not speed date, and God does not encourage us to speed date. In fact, God reminds us that everybody is of value, that everybody deserves a welcome, and we are called to not just welcome the one who looks like us or acts like us or makes us feel good about ourselves, but indeed to welcome the stranger, the one who is not like us. And once we've broadened our circle a little bit, to broaden it a little more and make the circle wider and wider. In fact, Etienne offered us a prayer. He invited us to, from time to time, pray to God and acknowledge that, God, I'm having troubles understanding this person, or I'm not comfortable with this person. So God, please open my heart and open my eyes that I might recognize this person as lovable and valuable, that I might hear your word through their lips, that I might recognize your love through them. Please help me. Amen. Or it was something very close to that. And it was a wonderful challenge as we acknowledge that it's hard to welcome everybody. Some people just bother us. But if we dare to imagine that life is more than speed dating, if we're willing to spend more than 5 minutes with set questions, but actually open our hearts to another person and have patience and take the time, we can recognize God's love, God's presence, and the potential for real relationship. And in that way, we become a welcoming community. You missed that if you weren't with us today, but maybe you understand it anyway. Younger people, if they weren't with us today, missed the opportunity to go off with Janine and to explore the 10 Commandments and to act them out and to begin to understand what they actually mean in 2014. And as they improvised and played with the commandments and tried to find meaning in place, they discovered community and they theologized. Imagine, 8 years old and doing theology. But if you were with us today, you wouldn't have to imagine it. You could actually see it and participate in it. So that happened today, and there was wonderful music, and more importantly, there was the table. A table that is small enough to fit into our sanctuary, and yet somehow we truly believe is large enough to fit all of creation. And so the table filled with bread and juice and God's Spirit was open to all, and we invited everybody to come. And food was shared, and Spirit was shared, and we were nourished. And when it was all said and done, we took the hospitality that we'd experienced at the table and took it out the door with us. Out the door into the community, out the door into the world where there are strangers waiting to be welcomed, where there are those who are misunderstood waiting for a patient ear, where the apparently unlovable are waiting to be loved. And that's what God asks us to do, and so that's what we're trying to do. So that's what you missed at Jubilee this week, but hopefully we won't miss you next week. Thanksgiving. It will be great to see you. God bless.